Part 1. When life knocks you down, have you ever felt like life has punched you in the gut so hard you couldn't even catch your breath? Maybe it was the loss of someone you love, a dream falling apart, a business collapsing, or a betrayal that left you questioning everything you thought was true. If you've been there, you know the kind of pain I'm talking about. The kind that makes the world feel heavy. The kind that whispers in your ear, "You're broken. You'll never get up again." I know this because I've been there too. Let me tell you a story. There was a man, we'll call him Daniel. On the outside, Daniel looked like he had it all. A steady job, a comfortable home, a family that loved him. People envied the way he seemed calm, collected, and in control. But life has a strange way of testing us, doesn't it? One morning, Daniel woke up to a phone call that shattered his world. His company, the one he'd given 10 loyal years of his life, was downsizing. His position? Gone. Just like that. No warning. No second chances. For days, Daniel walked around like a ghost. The bills piled up, his confidence sank, and the man who once carried himself with pride now felt like a shadow of his former self. Friends told him to stay positive. But deep down, he felt crushed out. That's when something unusual happened. One night, unable to sleep, Daniel sat at his kitchen table staring at a blank notepad. Out of frustration, he scribbled a single question across the page. "Why is this happening to me?" He stared at it for a while. The words mocked him. Why him? Why now? Why after everything he had done right? But then, almost by accident, he wrote another line underneath. "What is this teaching me?" And that one question changed everything. Napoleon Hill, the man who studied the richest, strongest, and most successful people of his time, once wrote, "Every adversity, every failure, every heartbreak carries with it the seed of an equal or greater benefit." Think about that for a second. What if the pain you're going through right now isn't meant to destroy you, but to prepare you? What if every crack in your heart is just making room for sunlight to enter? That's exactly what Daniel began to realize. Instead of asking, "Why me?" he started asking, "What now? What lesson is hidden inside this storm?" The truth is, life will knock you down, sometimes harder than you think you can handle. But what defines you isn't whether you fall. It's whether you rise. Daniel's story is not unique. It's the story of every person who has ever been tested. Maybe it's your story right now. Here's what I want you to remember. Growth doesn't usually come when life is easy. Growth comes in the storm, in the fire, in the nights when you feel like giving up. The strongest people are not the ones who never fell. They are the ones who fell 100 times and stood back up 101 times. That extra step, the refusal to stay down, is what makes them powerful. I'll tell you another truth, one Napoleon Hill emphasized again and again. Pain is not punishment. Pain is preparation. It's a fire. If you fear it, it burns you. But if you embrace it, it forges you, like steel shaped into a sword. Daniel began to see his job lost not as the end of his story, but as the beginning of a new chapter. He realized that every setback was really life asking him one simple question. Do you still want to rise? When you answer yes, when you decide you will stand again, no amount of pain can stop you. Imagine for a moment that your mind is a fortress sitting on top of a hill. If the walls are weak, even a small storm can break through. But if those walls are strong, nothing outside can destroy what's inside. This fortress is your mental armor. It doesn't mean you'll never feel pain or fear. It means those feelings won't control you. Fear may knock, but it won't get in. Pain may press against the walls, but it won't tear them down. How do you build this fortress? 3 things. 1. Perspective, the way you choose to look at challenges. 2. Discipline, the daily habits that make you stronger, brick by brick. 3. Resilience, the courage to rise again after you've been knocked down. Daniel didn't know it yet, but by shifting his perspective from victim to learner, he had already started building the first wall of his fortress. Here's where the lesson becomes personal. When something goes wrong in your life, do you let it crush you? Or do you look for the lesson inside it? Every difficulty is a chance to learn. Every loss is a chance to grow. Every fall is a chance to rise stronger. The truth is, life will break you sometimes. There's no escaping that. But that break is not the end of your story. It's the beginning of a new one. The scars you carry don't mean you're weak. They're proof that you survived, that you endured, that you kept moving when others gave up. So when the storm comes, and it will, don't pray for it to pass quickly. Pray for the strength to face it. Don't wish life were easier. Wish for yourself to be stronger. That's how warriors are made. Not in comfort, but in challenge. Not in smooth waters, but in raging storms. Daniel's story didn't end at that kitchen table. In fact, it was just beginning. He didn't know it then, but losing his job would become the fire that forged a stronger, wiser, more unstoppable version of himself. And as you read this, maybe life is preparing to do the same for you. Because when life knocks you down, the choice is always yours: stay down or rise again. Backhand index pointing right. In the next part, we'll go deeper into how to build that fortress of the mind, step by step. Starting with the most powerful tool you already have, your perspective. Part 2. The secret power of self-belief. Let me start by asking you a simple question. What separates the people who change the world from the people who only dream about it? Is it luck? No. Is it money? No. Is it connections? Not really. The truth is, the one thing that separates them is this: belief in themselves. Without it, you cannot move forward. With it, you can rise again and again, no matter how many times you fall. The story of Thomas Edison. Think about Thomas Edison. History remembers him as the man who gave light to the world, the creator of the light bulb. But most people forget the struggle that came before the success. Edison didn't succeed on his first attempt, or his 10th, or even his 100th. He failed over 1,000 times. Imagine that, failing not 10 times, not 50 times, but over and over again, while the world laughed and doubted. Someone once asked Edison how it felt to fail 1,000 times. He simply smiled and said, "I didn't fail 1,000 times. I found 1,000 ways that didn't work." Now imagine if Edison had given up at attempt number 999. The world might still be sitting in the dark. What kept him going wasn't luck. It wasn't special privilege. It was his unshakable belief in himself, the oxygen that kept his dream alive when everything else was against him. Self-belief, the oxygen of success. Belief is like oxygen. Just as your body cannot survive without air, your dreams cannot survive without belief. But here's something important. Belief does not mean pretending you're perfect. It doesn't mean ignoring your flaws or mistakes. Belief means trusting that you can grow beyond your flaws. It means saying, "I may not be there yet, but I can get there." That small sentence is powerful. It shifts your mind from limitation to possibility, planting the seeds of belief. How do you master self-belief? You don't wait for someone else to hand it to you. You build it yourself, step by step, day by day. Start small. Each morning, remind yourself of your worth. Speak words of power to yourself. I am capable. I am enough. I can. These words may feel simple, but they are seeds. When watered daily, they grow into the roots of unshakable confidence. Doubt will try to creep in. Doubt will whisper, "You can't." That's when you answer back with belief. "Yes, I can." Each time you do this, you train your mind to fight for you instead of against you. Over time, self-belief becomes your natural state. The enemy of belief, other people's voices. Here's a truth you must never forget. Life will bring criticism. People will not always understand you. They may laugh at your dreams, mock your efforts, or tell you that you don't have what it takes. But when you are anchored in self-belief, their words cannot define you. You know your worth, and no one can take it away. Napoleon Hill wrote that the greatest power you can possess is the power of thought. If you control your thoughts, no outside force can control your destiny. Resilience, the warrior spirit. But belief alone is not enough. Life will test you. It will knock you down, sometimes hard. And that's where the second power comes in, resilience. Falling down is not failure. Staying down is. Every person you admire, every leader, every hero, every champion, has fallen many times. They faced rejection, defeat, and disappointment. What made them different? They refused to stay on the ground. Resilience is the ability to bend without breaking, like a tree in a storm. The wind howls, the rain beats down, but the tree sways and does not snap. When the storm passes, it's still standing. That's how you must be when life strikes. You may bend. You may hurt. You may cry. But you will not break. The warrior example. Think of a warrior in battle. A warrior isn't strong because he never gets wounded. He's strong because even when wounded, he keeps fighting. He refuses to give up until the victory is his. That is resilience, the refusal to surrender, no matter how many times you're knocked down. And here's the good news, you already have resilience inside you. Think back to times when you failed a test, lost a job, or felt rejected. At the time, it felt like the end of the world. But guess what? You survived. You found a way to move forward. That was resilience at work. Small acts build great strength. Resilience doesn't just show up in big moments. It's built in small acts. When you fall, get back up quickly, even if it's just a small stumble. When you fail, try again, even in a small way. Each time you rise, you teach your mind, I can overcome. Soon, no setback will feel permanent because you'll know you have the power to rise again. Scars are not weakness. Too many people hide their scars. They think scars mean weakness. But scars are not weakness. They are proof of survival. Every scar says, I've been through pain, but I refuse to be defeated. Wear your scars with pride. They are marks of courage, signs that you stood up when life tried to knock you out. The next time you fall, life will test you again and again. You can't control that. But you can control how you respond. The next time you fall, and you will, don't see it as the end. See it as another chance to prove how strong you really are. Remember, the most powerful people are not those who never fall. They are the ones who fall 100 times and get back up 101 times. That is resilience. That is power. Belief plus resilience equals unstoppable. Self-belief is the oxygen that keeps your dream alive. Resilience is the warrior spirit that keeps you moving when the dream feels far away. Together, they make you unstoppable. So hold on to this truth. Believe in yourself, even when the world doubts you. Rise again, even when life knocks you down. If you can master these two powers, no storm, no failure, no setback can keep you down. Backhand index pointing right. In part 3, we'll explore the quiet force that builds unshakable strength over time, the discipline of daily habits. This is where true transformation begins. Part 3, Building the Fortress Within. Hook. The day life tested me. Remember sitting in my car one cold morning, staring at the steering wheel. My chest was tight, my thoughts heavy. The night before, I had failed at something I'd promised myself I would do. I felt weak, ashamed, and tempted to give up. But then I remembered a lesson my grandfather told me when I was young. He said, "Discipline is like bricks. Lay one each day, and one day you'll have a wall that no storm can break." That memory shifted something in me. I realized that every choice, no matter how small, was a brick. And if I could just choose discipline one more time, I could keep building. That morning became a turning point, and so today, let me share with you the 6 lessons that shaped my life. Lessons about discipline, pain, purpose, letting go, and calmness in chaos. These lessons are the bricks that will help you build your fortress within. 1. Discipline, the farmer's secret. Think about a farmer. He wakes up before the sun rises, even when his body aches. He plants seeds, waters the soil, pulls weeds, and works under the hot sun. Nobody cheers him on. Nobody claps for his effort. Yet, season after season, the crops grow, and his family is fed. That is discipline. Discipline is not about perfection, it's about consistency. It's keeping the promises you make to yourself. Wake up when you said you would. Finish the task you said you'd complete. Hold your temper when anger rises. Every time you choose discipline, you place another brick in your wall of strength. Over time, those bricks form a fortress. Here's the truth. Comfort is always calling your name. Comfort says, "Rest now, skip this, give up." But comfort never makes you stronger. Discipline does. The path of discipline feels hard now, but it brings pride later. The path of comfort feels easy now, but it brings regret later. Which one will you choose? 2. Turning pain into fuel. The athlete's fire. Everyone faces pain. Loss, rejection, disappointment. It comes for us all. But here's the secret. Pain is energy. And you decide what to do with that energy. Think of an athlete who loses a race. He could quit, telling himself he's not good enough. Or he could use that pain as fuel, training harder, running faster, and coming back stronger. Pain is like fire. Left uncontrolled, it burns everything down. But placed inside a furnace, it forges steel. Your pain can break you, or it can shape you into something unbreakable. When life hurts, don't ask, "Why me?" Ask instead, "What can I do with this pain? How can it make me stronger?" That shift turns suffering into growth. And here's another gift of pain. it teaches compassion. When you've been broken, you understand others' hurt more deeply. That understanding makes you kinder, wiser, and stronger. So next time pain knocks on your door, don't run. Invite it in. Let it fuel your rise. 3. The power of purpose. Your why. Pain without purpose feels like punishment. But with purpose, even suffering makes sense. Purpose is your why. It's the fire that keeps you moving when everything else tells you to stop. Think of Nelson Mandela. He lost decades in prison, but he endured because his purpose was freedom. Or Martin Luther King Jr., faced with hate, threats, and danger, but he kept marching because his purpose was justice. Their purpose was stronger than their pain. You don't need to be famous to live with purpose. Maybe your purpose is raising your children well, using your talent to create something meaningful, serving others, or simply becoming the best version of yourself. When you find your purpose, distractions lose their power. Insults don't shake you. Failures don't destroy you. Why? Because you know where you're going. Imagine walking toward a mountain. The road is muddy, storms come, people laugh, but you keep walking because you know the mountain is waiting. That is the power of purpose. 4. Letting go of what you can't control. Flow like a river. One of life's greatest causes of suffering is holding too tightly to things we can't control. You can't control the weather, but you can carry an umbrella. You can't control how others treat you, but you can control your response. You can't control outcomes, but you can control effort and attitude. Think of a river. When it meets a rock, it doesn't stop. It bends, it flows, it adapts. If you fight every rock in your path, you'll exhaust yourself. But if you learn to flow, you'll keep moving forward. Many of us replay the past or worry about the future. But the past is gone, and the future hasn't yet come. All we truly have is the present. Letting go isn't weakness, it's wisdom. It frees your heart and gives you peace. It allows you to use your energy on what matters most, your growth, your purpose, your future. So, the next time life throws something outside your control, remind yourself, this is not in my hands. I will not waste my peace. And then let it go. 5. Calmness in chaos. The strongest power. Picture a fire breaking out in a crowded place. Some panic and run wildly, others freeze. But the calm person looks for the exit, helps others, and makes wise decisions. Their calmness saves them, and sometimes saves others too. Calmness is not weakness. Calmness is power. A panicked mind makes mistakes. A calm mind sees solutions. Training calmness is like building a muscle. Start small. Pause before responding to anger. Breathe before reacting to stress. Remind yourself, this moment will pass. Over time, you'll grow steady even in storms. Calmness also protects your health. Fear and anger drain your energy, while calmness keeps your body steady and your mind sharp. Don't mistake calmness for not caring. Calmness means you care enough to respond wisely, not wildly. Life is a battlefield, but the warrior who stays calm always has the advantage. 6. The fortress within, your daily choice. Discipline. Pain. Purpose. Letting go. Calmness. Together, they form a fortress inside you. When storms come, it is discipline that keeps you steady. When life hurts, it is pain turned into fuel that pushes you forward. When you feel lost, it is purpose that shows the way. When the world feels unfair, it is letting go that brings peace. When chaos surrounds you, it is calmness that gives you strength. This fortress is not built in a day. It is built brick by brick, choice by choice, habit by habit. And one day, you will look back and realize you are unshakable. Not because life was easy, but because you chose to build your strength, one decision at a time. So start today. Lay one brick. Keep your promise. Choose discipline over comfort, growth over fear, calmness over chaos. Do it again tomorrow. And again the day after. Soon, you'll find yourself living inside a fortress so strong that no storm can bring you down. White heavy check mark. That's part 3, written in an engaging, story-driven, Napoleon Hill style, about 1,000 words, simple and powerful for an American audience. Part 4. The invisible forces that shape your destiny. Hook. The stranger on the train. Years ago, I was riding a train across the Midwest. Beside me sat a man in his 60s with work-worn hands and kind eyes. We struck up a conversation, and I asked him the secret of a good life. He paused, smiled, and said, Son, it's not the big decisions that shape you. It's the invisible ones, the small ones you make each day when no one is watching. That sentence stayed with me. Life isn't only about dramatic choices or big dreams. It's about the hidden forces we often ignore, the thoughts we allow, the people we spend time with, the habits we repeat. These forces are invisible to the world but powerful in shaping our destiny. In this chapter, I'll share 6 of these invisible forces. Learn them, and you'll understand why some people rise while others remain stuck. 1. The power of thoughts. The garden of the mind. Your mind is like a garden. Every thought is a seed. Some seeds grow into weeds, others into flowers. What you water grows. If you think daily about failure, lack, and fear, weeds will choke your potential. If you think daily about success, gratitude, and strength, flowers will bloom. Napoleon Hill once wrote, "You become what you think about." That truth is as real today as ever. If you want a strong life, you must first build a strong inner world. Start small. When a negative thought enters, don't let it linger. Replace it with a positive one. Write affirmations. Picture your goals as if they're already real. Remember, the invisible force of thought is the first architect of your future. Guard it as you would guard a treasure chest. 2. Habits, the silent builders of your future. Every day, you repeat small actions. They may feel meaningless in the moment. Checking your phone, eating another cookie, skipping a workout, or choosing to read for 10 minutes. But over time, these small actions carve your destiny. A man who eats poorly for 10 years wakes up with illness. Another who trains his body daily wakes up strong. A woman who saves a little each month wakes up free, while one who spends every dollar wakes up trapped. Habits are invisible builders. They are silent, but they never stop working. Ask yourself, what habits am I feeding right now? If they don't match the future you want, change them today. Habits are hard to break at first, but once they're replaced with better ones, they carry you forward like a current in a river. Build habits that pull you toward greatness, not ones that drag you down. 3. Environment, the soil around you. You cannot plant a seed in dry sand and expect it to grow. Even the strongest seed needs good soil. The same is true for you. Your environment, the people, places, and influences around you, shapes your growth. If you surround yourself with negative people, lazy people, or complainers, you'll absorb their energy. But if you spend time with dreamers, builders, and fighters, you'll rise higher. Look around you. Who do you spend time with? Do they drain you or inspire you? Jim Rohn said. You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Choose your 5 carefully. Your environment also includes what you read, what you watch, and what you listen to. Feed your mind with greatness, and you will grow great. Feed it with noise, and you will shrink. Change your environment, and you change your destiny. 4. Belief, the invisible key. There's a story about a young man who dreamed of climbing a mountain. Everyone around him said it was impossible. For years, he believed them and never tried. Then one day, he met an old climber who told him, "The mountain doesn't care who climbs it. It only asks, do you believe you can?" That night, the young man's belief changed. And soon after, he began to climb, and reached the top. Belief is the invisible key that unlocks every door. Without it, talent and opportunity mean little. With it, even ordinary people do extraordinary things. Think of Thomas Edison. He failed thousands of times before inventing the light bulb. What kept him going? Belief. Belief is not wishful thinking. It is conviction. It is the voice that says, "Yes, I can," even when the world says, "No, you can't." Guard your belief. Protect it. Because it determines how far you'll go. 5. Persistence. The invisible engine. If thoughts are the seed and habits are the builders, persistence is the engine that keeps everything moving. Every dream will test you. The road will throw obstacles, failures, and delays at you. Most people quit when it gets hard. But the invisible force of persistence separates winners from quitters. Think of a miner digging for gold. He digs for weeks, then months. Tired, he gives up. Days later, another miner continues the same shaft and finds gold just a few feet deeper. Life works the same way. Success often lies just beyond the point where most people quit. Persistence doesn't mean stubbornly doing the same thing forever. It means adapting, improving, and never giving up on your vision. Ask yourself, am I willing to go one step further than most people? If the answer is yes, you've already joined the few who find gold. 6. Faith in action. Turning the invisible into reality. Faith without action is only a dream. Action without faith is empty labor. But when you combine the two, faith and action, you create miracles. Faith is believing that what you cannot yet see will one day become real. Action is the step that proves you mean it. Together, they turn invisible forces into visible success. Think of the Wright brothers. People laughed when they said humans could fly. But their faith told them it was possible. Their action, experimenting, failing, adjusting, eventually gave us the airplane. Faith in action means you don't wait for perfect conditions. You plant seeds even when the weather looks uncertain. You take steps even when you're unsure where the road leads. This is how all great things are born. Faith first, action second, persistence always. Closing. The choice is yours. The stranger on the train was right. Life is shaped not just by big decisions, but by invisible forces, thoughts, habits, environment, belief, persistence, and faith in action. Each one is a silent power, working daily to build or break your destiny. So ask yourself, what invisible forces am I feeding? Are your thoughts helping you or hurting you? Are your habits lifting you or trapping you? Is your environment nourishing you or draining you? Do you believe in yourself? Do you persist? Do you combine faith with action? The answers are in your control. And the moment you take control of these invisible forces, you take control of your future. Remember, the strongest forces in life are often the ones we cannot see. But when you master them, the results will be visible to everyone. White heavy check mark. That's part 4 in Napoleon Hill. Style, about 1,000 words, easy and engaging for an American audience, with storytelling, 6 lessons, and a strong closing. Part 5. The hidden treasures inside Yuvok. The old map. A young boy once discovered an old map tucked inside a dusty family chest. On the map was a big red X, the sign of buried treasure. His heart raced as he imagined gold and jewels waiting beneath the earth. But here's the truth most people miss. You don't need a map to find treasure. You already carry the greatest treasures inside you: your discipline, your resilience, your imagination, your faith, and your power to act. These treasures don't just sit in the ground. They live in your heart and mind. The challenge is not finding them. The challenge is learning how to use them. In this chapter, we'll explore 6 hidden treasures already within you. If you uncover them, your life can change forever. 1. The treasure of self-discipline. The farmer's lesson. Think of a farmer. Each day he rises before dawn, not because it's easy, but because he knows his crops depend on him. He plants seeds, waters them, removes weeds, and waits patiently for the harvest. That daily choice, that discipline, is the hidden treasure most people ignore. Discipline is like compound interest, small, consistent deposits that turn into a fortune. Without it, even great talent goes to waste. With it, ordinary people achieve extraordinary things. Ask yourself, what seeds am I planting daily? Every workout, every page you read, every dollar you save is a seed. Over time, they grow into a harvest that feeds your future. The treasure of discipline doesn't glitter like gold, but its rewards are priceless: freedom, health, confidence, and success. 2. The treasure of turning pain into power. The athlete's comeback. A young athlete trained for years to win a championship. On the day of the big game, he lost. The crowd cheered for someone else. His dreams shattered. He had 2 choices: let pain break him or let it fuel him. He chose the second. Every morning he ran farther. Every night he trained harder. The sting of defeat became his fire. The next year, he returned and won the championship. This is a hidden treasure, the ability to turn pain into fuel. Everyone faces loss, jobs, relationships, failures. Most people let pain bury them. But if you take the same pain and use it as rocket fuel, the secret is in your perspective. Don't ask, why me? Instead ask, how can this pain make me stronger? Pain can destroy you or rebuild you. Choose wisely, and it becomes your greatest ally. 3. The treasure of purpose. The compass in the storm. Imagine a sailor in the middle of a storm. Waves crash, winds howl, and the sky turns dark. If the sailor has no compass, he drifts helplessly. But if he has one, no matter how fierce the storm, he knows which direction to sail. Purpose is that compass. It tells you why you wake up, why you fight, why you endure. Without purpose, life feels empty. Small problems feel huge because there's no bigger vision to fight for. But with purpose, even pain becomes meaningful. Think of Martin Luther King Jr., his purpose was justice. Think of Nelson Mandela. His purpose was freedom. They endured prisons, hatred, and threats, but their compass never wavered. Your purpose may not be to change a nation. It may be to raise a strong family, build a business, write a book, or serve your community. Whatever it is, it gives you power. Find your compass, and no storm will sink you. 4. The treasure of letting go. The river's wisdom. Picture a river flowing down a mountain. On its path, it meets rocks and boulders. Does it stop? Does it fight? No, it simply flows around them and continues forward. Most people suffer because they try to control what they cannot, other people's choices, the past, or events outside their power. They cling to rocks, exhaust themselves, and never move forward. Letting go is a hidden treasure. It frees your mind, restores your peace, and gives you energy to focus on what you can control. You can't control the weather, but you can carry an umbrella. You can't control what others say, but you can control your response. You can't change yesterday, but you can shape today. When you let go of what isn't yours to hold, you finally move forward like the river, calm, steady, unstoppable. 5. The treasure of calmness. The warrior's secret in battle. The loudest warrior is not the strongest. The calmest one is. Why? Because calmness gives clarity. Panic clouds judgment. Calmness sharpens it. Think of a firefighter entering a burning building. If he panics, he risks his life and others. But if he stays calm, he sees exits, saves people, and survives. Calmness is not weakness. It is power under control. It allows you to think when others are blinded by fear. You can train this treasure daily. When someone cuts you off in traffic, stay calm. When stress rises, breathe deeply. When chaos comes, remind yourself, this too shall pass. A calm mind is a weapon. And like any weapon, it must be sharpened through practice. 6. The treasure of persistence. The miner's gold. There's an old story of a miner who dug for gold. He worked for months, then years, but found nothing. Tired, he quit and sold his land. The next miner dug 3 feet deeper and struck one of the richest gold veins in history. That miner lacked persistence. Success often hides just beyond the moment you want to quit. That's why persistence is a hidden treasure. Most people never uncover it. They stop too soon. Think of Thomas Edison. He failed over 1,000 times before creating the light bulb. If he had quit at 999, the world might still sit in darkness. Persistence is refusing to stop, no matter how many times you fall. It's rising one more time than you fall. When you combine persistence with purpose, discipline, calmness, and belief, you become unstoppable. Closing. The treasure is already yours. The boy with the map searched for treasure in the ground. But real treasure isn't buried beneath dirt. It's hidden inside you. Self-discipline, the power to turn pain into fuel, the compass of purpose, the wisdom of letting go, the calmness of clarity, and the persistence to never quit. These are the treasures that create wealth, health, and happiness. You don't need to chase them. You only need to uncover and use them. So ask yourself today, which of my treasures have I been ignoring? Dust them off. Use them. Because the greatest wealth is not found in banks or vaults. It's found in the treasures of your own mind and spirit. White heavy check mark. That's part 5. Written in Napoleon Hill style, storytelling tone, about 1,000 words, 6 key treasures, with real-life examples and closing wisdom. You want me to finish this series with part 6 as the grand conclusion, tying all 5 previous parts together into one final success formula? Part 6. The master key to your destiny. Hook. The locked door. There's a story about a man who spent his life searching for a door that would lead him to success. He knocked on every door: jobs, businesses, friendships, investments. Some doors opened, some slammed shut, but none led where he hoped. One day, an old mentor smiled and said, "The door you're searching for isn't out there. It's within you. And the master key is already in your hand." This is the truth Napoleon Hill discovered in his lifelong study of the world's most successful men and women. There is no single secret out there. The secret is you. This final chapter is the master key, how to bring together discipline, purpose, calmness, persistence, and faith into one unstoppable force. 1. The master key. A combination of treasures. Imagine a lock that requires 6 numbers to open. If even one number is missing, the lock won't turn. The same is true in life. Success isn't built on one quality alone, it's the combination. Discipline gives you structure. Turning pain into power gives you energy. Purpose gives you direction. Letting go gives you peace. Calmness gives you clarity. Persistence gives you endurance. Together, they create the master key. One by itself is powerful, but together they unlock doors that most people believe are impossible to open. 2. The story of the bridge builder. Let me tell you about a man who wanted to cross a mighty river. Everyone told him it couldn't be done. The current was too strong, the distance too far. Many had tried, and all had failed. Instead of giving up, the man began to gather stones, one by one, every day. He used discipline to show up, persistence to keep going, calmness to think clearly, and purpose to stay motivated. The pain in his back and hands became his fuel. Day after day, year after year, he built. Eventually, his bridge stood tall and strong. He crossed the river. And once he did, hundreds of others followed across the bridge he had built. That man wasn't a hero in the newspapers. He was a farmer, just like many others. But he understood the master key. When you bring together your inner treasures, you can build bridges where others only see rivers. 3. Faith. The final ingredient. Napoleon Hill often wrote that faith is the eternal elixir. Without it, even the greatest plans collapse. With it, even the impossible becomes possible. Faith is not blind hope. It is a steady belief that if you act with discipline, persistence, and purpose, results will come. It is believing in yourself when no one else does. Thomas Edison had faith when others laughed at his crazy idea of electric light. Henry Ford had faith when people mocked the horseless carriage. Every great achievement began with faith in the unseen. You must develop this same faith, not just in God, not just in life, but in yourself. Because until you believe in yourself, the treasures inside you remain locked away. 4. The formula for success. Here is the master formula, simple but powerful. 1. Decide clearly what you want. A goal without clarity is only a dream. 2. Discipline yourself daily. Small actions, repeated, build momentum. 3. Use pain as fuel. Let it drive you forward, not backward. 4. Follow your purpose. Make every step meaningful. 5. Let go of what you cannot control. Flow like the river. 6. Stay calm in storms. Clarity gives you power. 7. Persist until you win. Never stop 3 feet from gold. 8. Hold faith. Believe with all your heart that success is yours. This is the master key. If you live by it, no obstacle can stop you. 5. The call of the future. Right now, as you read these words, you stand at a crossroads. One road is the same road most people take, easy, comfortable, full of excuses and regrets. The other is harder at first, but it leads to greatness, fulfillment, and freedom. No one can choose for you. The treasure map is in your hands. The master key is in your pocket. The door is right in front of you. The question is, will you use it? 6. Your next step. Act today. The greatest tragedy in life is not failure. It's knowing the treasures within you and never using them. Don't just read these words and move on. Decide, right now, to act. Write down one area where you need more discipline. Identify one pain you can turn into fuel. Clarify your purpose in one sentence. Choose one thing to let go of. Practice calmness today in one stressful moment. Commit to persistence until your goal is reached. And above all, hold faith. If you do this, you will carry the master key to every door you face. Closing. The door is open. Remember the man searching for the door of success. He found out that the door was within him all along. The same is true for you. The door is here. The master key is already in your hand. All that's left is to turn it. Open the door. Walk through. Claim the life you were created to live. Call to action. If this final chapter has inspired you, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with someone who needs to hear these words today. Subscribe so you don't miss more life-changing lessons. And most importantly, leave a comment. Tell me what treasure you're unlocking in your own life. Your future is waiting. Your treasure is inside. The master key is in your hand. Turn it now. Why heavy check mark? That's part 6, the final part. Around 1,000 words, Napoleon Hill, style, storytelling driven, motivational, ending with a strong call to action: subscribe, share, comment.